Sony is looking to get back on its feet with a surprisingly strong contender in the mid-range. This is the Sony Xperia XA1. Let's see whether it has what it takes to put Sony back on the map. I'm Angie with GSM Arena, and this is our Sony Xperia XA1 review. Clearly, the Xperia XA1 doesn't look dramatically different from the original. The screen resolution is the same too. So, what's the big deal? The XA1 comes with a brand new 16nm chipset, which promises greatly improved battery life. The RAM's now 3 gigs, and storage has doubled. But the real upgrade is the 23-megapixel primary camera. Even as far as looks go, the Xperia XA1 punches way above its grade. It feels much more expensive than it is. The screen side bezels are nicely minimalistic. We wish Sony had more phones like this. We're also glad that the volume buttons are finally in a comfortable place. Storage is expandable, and you don't need a tool to take out the microSD tray. However, the phone restarts when you pop it open, as it's shared with a SIM card. Contrary to what you may expect, this down here is not a secondary speaker, and the actual speaker is not a terribly loud one either. For the phone to really stand out, Sony should have put in some sort of water resistance or a fingerprint reader, but that's not the case. The screen is 720p, but it's adequately sharp. What caught our eye is that colors don't pop that much. And even as it is, the color accuracy leaves much to be desired. Battery life is one of the positive surprises with this phone, despite a relatively low battery capacity. The XA1 performed great in all our battery tests. This speaks well for MediaTek's new chipset. Its power efficiency is as good as the other top mid-range performers. And it's not only power efficiency, benchmarks also show that it's on par with them performance-wise. Android feels noticeably snappier than last year's model. In terms of software, the XA1 really shines with Sony's proprietary apps. The gallery is very intuitive, while the music app can enhance the quality of music. There's even an FM radio, which is all too rare these days. We also like that you can customize the look of the entire UI by downloading different themes. The camera is probably the biggest upgrade over the last year's Xperia XA. It's the same camera that Sony previously used on all of its flagships. By default, photos tend to be a bit bland, except when the camera decides it needs to increase saturation on a per-shot basis. Zooming into 100% still reveals a fuzzy grain even in daylight. From up close, you can also notice some over-sharpening. But despite those shortcomings, for a phone in this price range, the Xperia XA1 camera is really something. You get incredibly wide field of view, and the images are quite sharp, if you care to shoot them with a steady hand. Corner sharpness is also noticeably better than in past phones, so overall we're happy with the XA1's camera. If you're looking for good video, the XA1 is presentable, but not stellar. We're okay with the fact that it can't capture 4K video, but even in the 1080p segment, we've seen way better. The video stabilization isn't amazing either. The XA1 didn't get the more advanced steady shot mode of its higher-end sibling. The front-facing camera has an extra-wide 23mm field of view. It's perfect for group selfies. It lacks autofocus, so sharpness will vary greatly depending on how close or far your face is to the camera's sweet spot. It could also be our review unit, but coming up with a sharp selfie was not really easy with this one. Sony has come up with a solid mid-range phone. It's got great looks, solid battery life, and a high-res camera, so it's more than a worthy successor to the XA. But competition in the mid-range is a fierce specs race, and the XA1 doesn't qualify for pole position. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out our detailed review over at gsmarena.com.